Hey you guys, I'm Jasmine Marie and today we will be making oven baked ribs with a side of baked beans. Let me show you how I do it. We're going to start off by making a barbecue rub. We are going to start off with 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. I love garlic powder. I have this barbecue 101 rub from Trader Joe's. I added 2 tablespoons of that, a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of Lowry seasoned salt, a teaspoon of parsley, a fourth of a teaspoon of black pepper, and we're going to stir everything up together before we add the other ingredients. Next, I'm going to be adding a teaspoon of paprika if you have smoked, use that, a fourth of a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of Weber's garlic parmesan. It's a really good seasoning. A half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper for a kick. And these are the seasonings. We are going to mix all of that together. And that is going to make our rub for the ribs. Now I have 1 slab of rib that I cut in half and I took the membrane off of the back. Now I'm going to add mustard to it, enough to just give it a good slather and cover everything up. This is going to help the seasoning stick to it. This is how it looks before we add the seasoning. We're going to take as much or as little as you like. It's not salty, so you can add a lot to it. And this is going to give it a lot of flavors. But I just added it until it covered all of the ribs up. Now we're just going to mix everything up by hand and make sure every part of the ribs gets seasoning on it. And this is how everything is looking right now. I even added a little bit extra on the top just to make sure you had plenty of flavor. Now it is time to get it ready for the oven. I wrapped it in aluminum foil really tight. And I placed it in a preheated oven that was 350 for 4 hours. Now it's time to get the baked beans ready. I have a half of a pound of ground beef, and I'm using a can of Rotel and my favorite baked beans. I mixed the tomatoes and the ground beef together, and now I'm adding the baked beans to the mix. This is my favorite can of baked beans. This is the Bush's country style baked beans. It has bacon in it and it has brown sugar in it. And I'm going to add my favorite barbecue sauce, which is the Sweet Baby Ray honey chipotle barbecue sauce. And I probably add about a half a cup to a cup of that because I really love the flavor of barbecue sauce in my baked beans. Next, I'm going to add a tablespoon of that rub that I made earlier to it. And we're just going to mix everything up together. And this is our baked beans. Also, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. And I also added about maybe a half of a teaspoon of red pepper because I like my baked beans to have a sweet and spicy kick. After 4 hours, it's time to take the ribs out. And this is what it's looking like before the barbecue sauce is on. Now I'm going to take my favorite, again, Sweet Baby Ray honey chipotle, and I'm going to slather the barbecue sauce all over the ribs. Next, I just took a spoon and just spread it the barbecue sauce to make sure it was evenly coated. I took a little bit more of that rub and just sprinkled a little bit on the top just for extra flavor. And I added, of course, some parsley for color. And this is what it looks like before it goes back into the oven. I'm going to stick them back into the oven on broil for about 10 to 15 minutes, but you want to watch it until it gets nice and sticky and a little brown. And this is what they look like. They are so tender and so juicy. You can cut it with a fork. Bon appetit. I just served them with my delicious sweet and spicy baked beans and a side of okra. Mm. Until next time, signing off.